Alright guys, welcome back to another Bleach Brave Souls video. Today we're going to be taking a look at characters that fell off really bad. Now more particularly, we're actually going to be taking a look at some characters that aren't as good as they used to be. We're going to be taking a look at different characters over different eras of the game, so expect a wide variety of different characters in this video. But before we get into it guys, if you haven't enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, and without further ado, let's get into the first character. The first character we're going to be taking a look at, it is going to be the adult version of the 1000-year Blood War Bankai Toshiro. Now this guy is one of the absolute OGs, one of the classics in the game, because he actually released in September 30th of 2017, just a little over a year into the game's life. And this guy, when he came out, was one of, if not the best character in the entire game. He had everything going for him. He had good range, good strong attacks, he had a good killer, everything was all fine and dandy. However, time started to pass and age started to get to him, and he just wasn't hitting the right numbers as he used to be. Fast forward 5 years later, in October 13th of 2022, he did get resurrected, and he got a pretty good soul trait here with a strong attack damage minus 12% and then strong attack damage at 18%. So really decent soul trait that he got here for his resurrection. This is what he's looking like in terms of his skills right now. Definitely not the way he has to be in any stretch of the imagination to be remotely considered to be viable in this meta right now. And yeah, this is definitely one of the great OGs, and unfortunately he's just at the point where he's just a really cool character and he's just a collectible, because he's not gonna be anywhere near what you need right now. But if you have this character, he's definitely just a fun character just to use. Yeah, I just really like this character. I actually have him max transcended because yeah, I really love this character. But let me know, how do you feel about this version of Toshiro, one of the OGs, one of the greats. Let's move on to the next one now. The second character we're going to be taking a look at, it is going to be the speed version of Yachiru or Retsu Onohana. And I can already see you guys going to the comments. Hold on, I'm not saying she's horrible, just hear me out. Now, we would all be lying to ourselves if we say that she's still in her prime, because she's definitely not in her prime. But let's just, for argument's sake, let's just go over her skills and things like that. Now, first of all, she was actually released on July 31st of 2023. So that is little over 2 years ago. So you can already tell that she is starting to show a little signs of age. But don't let that fool you, because she is still one of the better speed characters in the entire game. You can argue and say she's actually top 10 if you have her at least 3 out of 5 and whatnot, which is really good. But now let's just take a look at her over here. She's got 2 soul traits over here, as you can see. Strong attack damage plus 22% and then minus 12% to strong attack recharge time. And she's got all the bells and whistles to make her a really good character. The standout ones is actually Rampage at 2% over here, which is a very valuable skill. And also she's got that domain or field thing where she inflicts status elements according to who's in the domain and whatnot. But actually, if we think about it, what actually went wrong for this character? Now, there's actually 2 things that I think are the culprits in terms of her aging out, which obviously time is one thing. But one thing I do want to point out, she actually came out in a period whereby status element plus, killer plus, and as well as EX moves were not a thing in the game. So she doesn't have an EX move, she doesn't have an EX skill for right now, right? And also she doesn't even have any killer plus or status element plus. So those different things do hold her back a little bit, but that just isn't really a big deal for her, especially if you have her 3 out of 5 and above. As you can see, I have max transcended right here. And again, she is still very good. Don't get me wrong, she's still a very good unit. She can hold her own, but she is definitely past her prime, and she's definitely not where she used to be. Let me know, what do you think about my take on this character right here? One of my favorite characters in the entire game, and it's just a shame that she has just slightly fallen from grace a little bit. Let me know what you think. Before we go into the next one, I just wanted to say, if you are enjoying the video, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below one character that you feel just fell off really bad. Just let me know down below what you think, and let's go on to the next one now. The next character we're going to be going over, it is going to be the mind version of Yuha. Now, I can already tell you already getting a bit angry over there. Just calm down and just hear me out, okay? Let's just go over the details and I'll explain myself. he actually released on December 30th of 2023, so which makes him somewhat of an older character because he is reaching towards 2 years old at this point. And yeah, arguably one of the most impactful characters in the entire game, because he was one of the first, if not the first character to have multiple soul bombs, 2 to be exact. Now, he did get this ability by getting it through his gauge. As you can see here, once you defeat 80 enemies, he does get an extra special move. He also has these different skills over here that he gets when he defeats enemies via his gauge over there. He does have Long Stride, Marauder, all the good stuff, Frenzy +2, you name it, he's got it. But again, what went wrong for this character? Why is he not at the precipice of his former self, right? Now, it is the exact same thing as the Retsu no Hana right here, because he does not have Killer Plus, he does not have Status Element Plus, he doesn't have an EX move, and for now's sake, he doesn't have an EX skill. But again, don't get me wrong, this guy is still really good. As you can see here, I have him max transcended, very valuable. Only has 1 soul trade with a strong tap minus 14% to recharge time. But again, he's a really good character. 2 killers over here, Hollow and No Affiliation Killer. Still a very good character, but we'd be lying to ourselves if we said he's still at the precipice of his hype, because he's definitely fallen off grace a little bit. But let me know once again, what do you think about this character over here? Now let's move on to the 4th one now. Alright, so the next character we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the Segunda Etapa Ukiura. Now, this might surprise you, and again, this might not surprise you, because this guy actually came out fairly recently, on April 19th of this year to be exact, 2025. Now, let me just explain myself and let's see what you guys see down in the comments, right? So on release, he seemed like a very decent character, right? Very good character. He's got Espada plus Killer. You know, he's a somewhat decent character overall. You know, he's a ranged character. Again, he's a Ukiura. He's hitting all the right marks. But what is actually wrong with this character, right? Now, there is certainly a few nitpicks here and there why the consensus is that he isn't really that good. But from what I can tell is that he's trying to do too many things at the same time, and he doesn't necessarily do all those good things at really well, right? So looks like he's a booster character right there, but again, this doesn't really go well with his kit. The range doesn't seem to be that good, people say. All in all, it seems like they were trying too hard with this character and they just ended up not cutting it. Now, again, this is the overall consensus that people have been agreeing on, that this guy isn't really that good. Now, am I wrong or are we wrong? Do let me know your opinion down below. Do you have this Ukiura and do you think he's really good? Just let me know. I guess in Guild Quest, he actually might be the best or somewhat relevant option. But in general, just let me know how he feels, how the damage output is. Just let me know all that down below. But the overall consensus is that he's certainly not that good right now. That is it for number 4. Let's get into the 5th one now. Alright, so the final character we're going to be taking a look at here, it is going to be the 9th anniversary version of Kenpachi. Now, again, this character, when he released, one of the best, if not the best character in the entire game, but I would argue that Gremmy was actually better. Now, when did he release, you might be wondering. He actually released on July 19th of 2024, so he's a little bit over a year old at this point. Now, again, when he released alongside Gremmy on the anniversary banner, and he was arguably one of the best characters in the entire game, and he was one of the first characters to introduce the EX move and the Killer Plus mechanics. So that was a very big thing at the time. And yeah, on release, he was exceptional. He was really good. Now, in today's standards, he's certainly not where he used to be. If it comes down to the skills over here, he's got Inverter, which means he will be inflicting laceration every 5 seconds, which is a very interesting skill there. Weaken resistance at 105 over there, as you can see over here. But yeah, you got all the bells and whistles to make him a really powerful character. But again, this just goes over to the fact that when a character is released, they will eventually get power creep, and time is the one thing that these characters cannot outlive. And it is just a sad thing, because honestly, from my personal opinion, I really didn't think he was that good or that interesting. In my personal opinion, I really just grew towards Gremmy on release. But hey, that is a separate video. That is a separate. Let me know, how do you feel about the 9th anniversary version of Kenpachi? Do you think he's still top 10 maybe? I don't even think he's top 5. So if you think he's top 5, I think you should not think that. But if you think he's top 10, do you think he's still somewhat of a relevant character? Do let me know down below in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think about not only him, but all of the characters that I actually mentioned in this video. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I do really hope you enjoyed the video. That is going to be all the characters that we're going to be taking a look at today. If you want to see a part 2, guys, make sure to leave a like on the video, because there are a lot more characters that have fallen from grace here. So if you guys want to see a part 2, let me know by leaving a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, leave a comment as well. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.